Welcome back to the rules of engagement we just talked about. Hero versus Roro, game number 2, in which Roro showcased how to utilize mutas very well, both how to transition, oh, that's a cool picture, how to transition to those mutas, and then also, of course, how to use those mutas once you transition to them tactically. You know, you spread out the army, then you concentrate it, keep doing it back and forth, makes it very hard for the defender to anticipate with what size and location you're going to strike next. We then went on to another game of Game 3 of Roro vs. Hero, where Roro showcased a great strategic reaction to 2-base Immortal, utilizing spine crawlers, action prioritization, and great concaves to defend that attack. Hero is now up 2-1, and we're about to jump into and analyze game number 4 of the series between these two great players. A few things I want to analyze when you jump into this series are going to be the 2-base Blink Stalker timing attack, and how to do that build, and then how to execute the attack, and also check out some awesome new physics that are involved in Heart of the Swarm. So, actually, first thing I want to do is actually change my settings, make sure the physics is set to extreme, which it is, which is awesome. Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do is just fast forward this replay a little bit, talk about the build. So we're going to jump into the base of Hero. And one thing we noticed right off the bat is his pylon and forge at the beginning are inside his base. He's then going to construct the cannon out front. And one of the cool things about this is if you put the forge inside your base, and then later on the Twilight Council inside your base, it helps hide your build. The fact they're going to be allocating Chrono Boost to a forge while getting extra gas, right, means that it's most likely a Twilight Council build. Because if you were getting Chrono into forge and you weren't getting gas, it might be +1 Zealots. But with the gas, and as Zerg sees that, they would know it's a Twilight Council type build. The other thing that's really awesome is if we look at this, Roro has a vision of the gas. So he builds this gas and he mines from it, right? And then as soon as his Stalker pushes the Overlord away, look at this. He stops mining gas, but the Overlord's too far away to notice that. These are the details that make players like Hero and Roro the world-class professional players as opposed to the average Joes. Little small details like taking that 4th gas. So if you can do that at home, you know, go ahead, try it out. It's pretty fun. The most important thing, though, is remember to just, for the build order, you want to do a couple things. Stop at the right amount of probes. 42 is a good number. You want 3 gases, 16 on each of the minerals, and a couple of extra probes to build pylons and extra buildings. Hide your Twilight Council and forge so they can't see you chrono boosting those. Then, of course, as you cut probes, add in 6 more gateways. So you've got a total of 7 gateways to power your nice little attack. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is what you do as you execute the attack. So as you're executing the attack, while you want to stay aggressive, you want to get in your opponent's face and be aggressive. Why you want to do that? Because you want them to delay their lair tech, because that delays their roach speed, infestors, all the things that Blink Stalkers are scared of. So you want to be very, very aggressive. But the other thing is that you want to make sure that your prioritization is on keeping Stalkers alive. Because as long as you're aggressive enough that they can't progress up their tech, what the whole idea is, as the Stalker count increases, roaches get less and less and less effective. Now, cool thing I want you guys to notice is check out the awesome physics. I just have to point this out. So Blizzard has this cool new thing. Watch this Stalker right here. So he gets, like, the roaches shoot him and he dies, and the velocity, like, carries his little Stalker body all the way across the screen, and then he just falls into the canyon. There's little Zerglings dying. They're going. And you know what? It doesn't happen on every map. It happens because they put in specific physics that you can enable if you want to on these little, like, ice-based maps. Which makes sense, right? You're fighting on ice, a dead body's going to go sliding if it's knocked. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Back to what's actually game. Wow, the Zerglings are flying around like maniacs. Back to what's happening in the actual game, as hilarious as the physics is. He's staying aggressive. And while he's aggressive, what's happening is that his opponent's tech is delayed. They're not able to progress the units that are cost-efficient versus Blink Stalkers. But at the same time, his micro is purely focused on keeping Stalkers alive. Because if you can get to a certain Stalker size count, slow roaches and speed Zerglings cannot compete anymore. So you want to be aggressive enough so that your opponent has to stay low tech. But then you want to prioritize focusing, keeping as many Stalkers alive as possible, so that once you get enough Stalkers, as the game goes on, you're going to build up a larger and larger and larger force. The idea is you get enough Stalkers that no matter how many slow roaches and Zerglings they have, you can cycle through blinks and just keep all your stalkers alive permanently with good blink micros. We can see here now he's up to a larger force. His opponent with slow roaches cannot retreat. He's able to overwhelm that and get a very cost-efficient engagement. And as he pushes on, of course, warping to more reinforcements all the time, he can push forward, and he doesn't have too much. Because his prioritization was on keeping his unit count alive, and also, of course, making sure his opponent could not tech up. You can see here he's forced a decisive engagement now, to the point where whoever wins this battle will probably go on to win the game. His opponent does not yet have their road speed. Time warp slowly roaches even more, which allows you all the extra time to get in that good blink micro and do more damage as the roach is trying to approach your stalkers. A few more minutes to grade micro as the opponent runs out of units, and the game is going to be heroes. He's going to tie the series 2-2, and that's always good. Winning games is always good. So to round up the series, let me give you a brief description of what happened. So he wins that game. Game 5 is pretty awesome as well, but not really enough time to quite analyze that one. So if you want to check that out, go to youtube.com/official MLGSE2. You can check out Games 1, Games 2, 3, 4, and 5, as well as many other great videos. youtube.com/official MLGSE2. But for now, we'll take a short break and be back with our final segment, the questions and answers.